Hello my dear students, I begin today's video lecture with the new chapter Internet and Open Source Concepts. This is the 16th chapter in your syllabus. The weightage of marks to this chapter is 4 marks. You will get 1 mark 1 question and 3 marks 1 question. You need to give more importance on the definitions, abbreviations means expansions of the given term, and the characteristics of the concepts, especially in this chapter. The topics I am going to discuss in this video lecture is introduction part and categories of the softwares. Move to the introduction part. In your first year classes, you studied the concepts of softwares, right? What is software? Software is a set of programs used to do specific tasks. Based on the way of working, it is classified into two types, like application softwares and the system software. Softwares are helpful to fulfill the requirements of the user, or called as an application software. Some softwares are helpful to provide the interface between user and the computer. Those types of softwares are system softwares. Operating system is a system software. From the other point of view, like the way of accessibility, method of modifications, distribution rights, softwares are classified into different types like free softwares, open source softwares, flaws, proprietary softwares, sharewares and the freewares. Move to the first category like free softwares. Free software means the software is freely accessible and can be freely used, changed, improved, copied and distributed. Free software is a matter of liberty, not only in terms of price. Free software is a matter of user freedom to run, copy, distribute, study, change and improve the software. More preciously, it refers to the kind of freedom to the user. If the software is considered as a free software, it should follow some criteria like freedom to run the program by user for any purpose to get the required result for the user, freedom to study how the program works by using the source code available in the case of free softwares, because that is the basic condition in free software. Source code should be available. By using the source code, the user can study the program and make the changes. Source code is nothing but the background program to design the software that should be in user understandable form. Next one is freedom to improve the program and release your improvement to the public. That means after studying the programs, the user can improve the present software and the upgraded software can be released to the public. That helps to the other people to use the updated version of the software. Freedom to redistribute the copies, so you can help your neighbors to use the softwares. Next category of software is the open source software. OSS stands for open source software. It refers to the software whose source code is available to the customer and it can be modified, redistributed without any limitations, but in some cases need to pay nominal charges for the purpose of development and support of software upgradations. Here open source software appears like a free software, means source code is available freely in the case of open source software, but some amount need to pay. Along with that, it should have the license ID in the case of open source software, but there is no limitations to redistribute the source code and the license ID to the other people. Example for open source softwares are MySQL, it is a database software, and Unix, it is an operating system. This is the logo of MySQL. If the software is need to be considered as open source software, it should follow some criteria like free distribution. Means the license shall not restrict to any party from selling or giving away the software. Possible to redistribute the softwares to the public. Next one is source code. The program must include source code and must allow the distribution in source code as well as the compiled form of the source code. Next, derived work. Derived work means the license must allow the modifications and must allow the modified version to be made available under the same terms of license as of original software. Next one is no discrimination against persons or group. Here, while providing the open source software, there is no discrimination for a particular person or a group of people. Next, no discrimination against the fields, means whether it is an scientific field, commercial field or an educational fields, there is no discrimination of license IDs and the structure of source code related to an open source software. Next, distribution of license means the right attached to the program must apply to all for whom the program is required without the need of execution and additional license by other parties. Along with that, license must not be specific to the product, license must not restrict to the other softwares, and license must be technology neutral, means it does not depends on any particular technology or style of interfaces in case of open source softwares. Next concept is FLOSS. FLOSS stands for Free Library and Open Source Software or Free Library and Open Source Software. Here it refers to software which is both free software as well as open source software. Means the FLOSS softwares acts both free software, means source code available for free of cost, and it is executed and possible to improve the software and redistribute the softwares along with the license. Some of the example for FLOSS are Linux, Android. These are the operating systems. Next, move to the next concept, GNU. GNU is a free software. It is initiated by FSF, means Free Software Foundation. Designed like Unix operating system, means the code of GNU is somehow similar to the Unix operating system, but it is not exactly to the Unix operating system. Next, FSF stands for Free Software Foundation. It is a non-profit organization founded in the year 1985 by Richard Stallman. The purpose of Free Software Foundation is supporting free software movements. Next is OSI. OSI stands for Open Source Initiative. It is a non-profit organization. OSI founded in the year 1998 by Bruce Perens and Eric Raymond. The purpose of OSI is to promoting open source software and design the criteria and terms for open source software. Next is W3C. W3C stands for World Wide Web Consortium. Is responsible for developing software standards for WWW. Means World Wide Web Consortium responsible for constructing the rules and regulations for the World Wide Web. Here W3C is helpful to design the set of protocols for the internet and promote its evolution and ensure its interresponsibility by W3C. Next concept is proprietary software. Software which is neither open source nor freely available. The type of software is treated as an proprietary software. Here, the buyer or user cannot share, modify, or redistribute the copies because the source code is not available, and the license for copyright holder gives the rights use software under certain conditions. Sharing of softwares is not possible in the case of proprietary software. Next type is shareware. Shareware is a trial version where certain features are available for limited time. Means shareware is also type of a software. Those types of softwares are used for the temporary purpose. For the study purpose, sharewares are used for a minimum amount of time. The last type is freeware. Freeware is a type of software, but generally user for software is available free of cost and allow copyright and future distribution, but modification is not possible in the case of freewares because the source code is not available in the case of freewares. These are the concepts present in categories of softwares based on accessibility, method of modifications, and distribution of copies from one user to other user. Thank you all. Meet you all in the next session.